Before we start the show, let me first tell you what Gravy on the Side is all about. It's real simple. It's for those in the restaurant bar industry that work endless hours to make chaos seem effortless in a high pressure setting. With the expectation of being treated respectfully and fair, which is not always the case. It's for those that have bigger dreams than just being someone else's bitch.
Your headset is connected.
Welcome to Gravy on the Side. I'm Rick Swing. I'll be your server tonight. Gravy on the Side, the only podcast where you can talk with your mouth full. I have a very special guest today, one of my dear friends, great mentor, Mr. V from Kailua Kona, a staple here in the restaurant bar industry for many years. We're going to have a little chit-chat with him. How was your shift, Mr. V? You have any issues?
No, it's the regular, typical type of restaurant shift. You walk into a restaurant that's full of madness, people running around, people not knowing what they need to do. I love it.
Yes. Yes, just like every shift that we do. All right. Let's go. Let's just dive into this. So you had a good shift. Did you bank? Did you walk out like feeling like you can retire earlier?
You know, you never really understand how much you're going to make when you come to work in the evening. We work for people's gratuities, they call it. Some people are happy with their lives and some people aren't. So whether they're gracious or they're grateful, you never know till the end of the shift. Fortunately, tonight was a good shift. I made enough money to pay my bills and support myself for one more day.
Yes, exactly. How long have you been doing this?
Well, believe it or not, by looking at me, I don't know if you know if I'm young or I'm old, but I've been working in the food industry since I was 16. So we're going on 48 years.
Wow. And I thought I was a lifer.
Yes, sir.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I was young and I was having sex. I had a child. So in the 10th grade, I was already working.
So you just jumped right into a position.
Whether I wanted to or not,
right.
I was fortunate
that was going to be one of my questions. Like, what was the situation that caused you to...
Well, my older brother was working in a restaurant at the time. I needed to get employment, so he was able to get me into a restaurant cooking eggs, making pancakes, cooking bacon. So my first job was a breakfast cook at 16 while I was in the 10th grade with a child at home. So little did I know that would be my staple or my go-to throughout my life.
Right. Yeah, you're like, oh, years later, you're like, oh, didn't know that would be the beginning of this.
Yeah, thank goodness, you can always get a job in a restaurant or a hotel. They're always looking for somebody to do the job, and it's always provided food or a roof over my house. So in many regards, not that I would have chose to be in the food industry, but I'm happy and pleased that it's gotten me this far.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And it's gotten you real far, and it's a good one. It's a good job to jump into at any moment.
It's gotten me farther than I thought I'd ever would have been. In matter of fact, I thought I would have been dead by now.
Yeah. And has Hawaii been the only place if you've been in the industry?
Well, I was born and raised in Southern California, and I was fortunate to come and visit when I was young at 17, and then I transplanted at 19, thinking I would be here for the summer, and little did I know I've been here at 45 years. So my life transpired, faster than I thought it would. And food industry in Hawaii is a major economy. So
number one, yeah.
It's been good to me, yeah.
Yeah, you can make
Food
it.
service.
People, that's what my friends back east telling you. This industry, you can make some money and make a good living with it. Don't be fooled. Yeah, this is the spot. To me, this is if you're going to do what we do, this is probably the spot. You can guarantee yourself nice yearly stack of cash.
I've always had the ambition to do more or want to do less, but people always say, oh, are you the owner of the restaurant? Or why haven't you started your own restaurant? Or, I really like everything you do. And I wish I would have taken I mean, I have the ambition, but I wish I would have taken a few more steps that would have allowed me to move further along in this industry.
Yeah. I think we all, especially us who've been in this for so long, we've had that cross through our minds quite a few times. And I'll say you would be like the perfect owner, because you do it. And that's why when I go to certain restaurants and I see the owner out there bussing tables and doing everything, I kind of picture you. That's how you would be in the restaurant.
Yeah, I'm absolutely about helping the crew. For me, the best thing about working in a restaurant isn't so much the work that we do, is that the joy it brings from serving someone that's come a long way to Hawaii, spent a lot of money, not knowing what to expect, and then you give them the aloha factor and, provide the experience. So it's not necessarily the food or the drink. It's more so the mannerism in which we engage.
Yes.
So that's, I work for money. I work for gratuities.
Right.
It pays my bills. But for me, a big part of the compensation comes from knowing that the person that I had the good fortune of sharing my evening with has walked away feeling as if though I cared as a waiter and they had a nice experience in my care.
Yes.
That's really important to me.
And
as an
especially here, you understand if you do it long enough here that they're people, this is the only time in their life they're ever coming here.
Well, a lot of people that serve food or drinks hate their job, and then when they have someone in their table or in their service, it reflects, and then the guest would say, I hate my waiter.
Right. Yeah. That's what ends up happening. And
and you're like,
and
oh,
it
I
turns
didn't
into
realize.
a reflection on the restaurant, and it's like, I'm sorry, you just got the...
It's like, damn it, my life spilled onto the table, and now the guest is upset with me.
Yes, exactly. So and I want to go across the board. I do want to get people that work in the kitchen because the kitchen has their own ideas and point of views. And
Oh, yeah, they hate the waiters.
oh, yeah, always. Yeah.
There's always a problem.
If
We're
you
like,
think-
I need this right away.
If
They're
you
like,
think they're happy to make your food, you are fooled. Don't go tell the kitchen is your food.
yeah, but I want most people to know that the person that's cooking, whether they're disgruntled or upset, they're making your food properly.
They are.
And I hate the thought that people always think that cooks are assholes or they're purposely not making it properly.
They're good people.
Or they're
good people.
hardworking, salt of the earth, trying
They're
to do
back
the best
there
they can,
sweating.
provide for their family.
Especially when it's slammed and it doesn't stop and they don't get a break. They can't for a second.
So I don't want people to think, oh, the cook's an idiot. He can't make what I requested 4 times.
And that's a reason for the podcast too. I want to let people know we are what we do is an operation. To come in and have everyone play their part. It's an operation.
It's a machine.
It is.
Yeah.
And if one of those cogs get messed up, it can collapse the place a little bit. But you learn to kind of adjust with what's going on. Someone doesn't show up, or you run out of stuff. It could be,
again, I don't know about where you are or where you're hearing this, but I can tell you right now, in Hawaii, you're on a rock in the middle of the ocean. So if we don't have something, or something's not prepared, or it's not available, it isn't because we want to piss you off. It has
Right.
It has to do with we're doing the best we can with what we
Yeah,
have.
it's not like we don't want it.
Even
It's
since
our
COVID.
business is to have you want the things that we
If
have.
there's something on the menu, we're trying to provide it. But don't be angry that today you came in and your selection that you request isn't available because we've sold out.
Especially on a large menu. For any restaurants on large
Absolutely.
menus. It's just,
So I just like to tell the people out there, we appreciate you coming in. I love sharing your time. I want to provide a good meal. But don't get mad at me that your life isn't.
don't get mad at us.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying not
I know.
everything in life is perfect.
No, I know.
You can go to the tire station for your car. If they don't have the right size for your tire, you're going to kill the tire repairman?
Right.
They don't have it in stock.
Yeah, it's
left
just not
order.
there.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing when you tell a guest that something's 86. So I'm sorry, we're out. What we do have, you can try to suggest something else. But
What really sucks is when the guest orders, let's just say, a piece of chocolate cake, you told them we've sold out. And then a minute later, you bring a piece of chocolate cake to the table next door, and they're wondering what the fuck. Yeah. But it isn't like you're doing.
or the milkshakes.
They may
That's
have
a big
ordered
one.
it before you requested
Right.
it.
Well, they don't
And
understand the process.
understand. Yeah.
And they don't understand. Some people, that's the same scenario goes with, there's a One Top or something. They're wondering, it's a busy restaurant. They're wondering why it's taking so long on their fish and chips.
Sure.
It's just like, well, it's still done in a
There's 40
sequence.
people's
Without
request
food.
of tickets
in
in
front
front
of
of the cooks, before your one
Yeah, they don't single out like.
Caesar salad. Or
Yeah, they
something.
don't single out. You
They
still.
don't. They're like, "Where's my Caesar salad? It's been 7
Yeah,
minutes."
you're in line.
Yeah. And people
you're in
think
line.
we live in a world where everybody expects the now. You can
Yes.
get this now. You can get that now.
That is a satisfying. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to hit on that with you. Like, don't you feel, because you've done it long enough as I have, and haven't you noticed that people are in a lot more of a hurry? Because I remember back in the days, I'll say the early '90s, late '90s, people would sit down, like the
Yeah,
whole
and enjoy
crew.
their meal.
Yeah.
I see people come to the table, 4 or 6 people, they order, and what do? Rather than hold a conversation or discuss the things that are important and enjoying the time that they've come together as a family or friends
Right.
in a place that's, wonderful like Hawaii, all they do is they look at their phone.
Yes.
And then they wonder why it's not at their table
And you're
right away.
spending a lot of money, and it's to me when you go
So
out
we
to
live
eat,
in a world where people want instant gratification.
right? Yeah, they want to get it over with.
Not even my wife will let me do instant gratification. We have to take our time to do it right, no matter what it is.
I'm glad this is a podcast.
Yeah, this is a podcast.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can
know.
say whatever
I hope
the
you're
fuck we
18
want.
or over, because I'm just trying to be polite. I'm
No,
not
but-
trying to upset anybody.
Yeah,
with
but
my
things
words.
have changed over the years. I've noticed how, you've seen theme restaurants change. You've seen just the
Sure.
style, even far as tipping out. I remember the barely tipping out back in the day. I've worked in places where I didn't tip out at all. It was up to us, So
Well, again, like I said, I've been doing this for 40 plus years, and I can remember you can get a meal for $2 to $5,
Right.
And you might leave a quarter,
Right.
or 50 cents,
Right.
But you know what?
With inflation, I
it's
can
the
under-
gesture.
Yes,
it's
it
a
is the-
consideration.
Yes.
It isn't so much how you tip; is that you're an understanding that that's what you work for.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because even I feel like what we do is deserving of a tip, and I think our tips have been hijacked by, let's say, Starbucks or Subway, or there's so many places now that everyone's expecting a tip. But
Sure.
we're not getting service. You're just getting. I get in line to get a black coffee at Starbucks, and I feel like they want me to give them a tip, and I was just like, you got a
It's
plastic cup, and you poured, and that's all.
Some coffee.
Yeah, I didn't sit down. I didn't even if I went into a restaurant and I sat down and got a cup of coffee, I'm leaving a tip.
Sure.
But if I just got in line or a Subway, any of those kind of places, but so many places are expected to tip now, I just feel like our value is higher. I just feel like that.
Well,
So
I
what I'm
think-
saying is you and I should have $1 million contracts.
You're funny.
I'm going to unionize us.
Caring doesn't make you rich. Yeah. It just seems
Yeah,
we're
you're
trying
not going
do
to
our
be.
best to understand what's
You
happening.
know, one of my old owners that I worked back on the East, he sat everybody down because he was a pretty open guy. I loved him. One of the best owners I've ever worked for.
Excellent.
But he's always said, he goes, "You're never going to be rich doing this. I won't be. You won't be. Nobody will be." And he just left it
And
at
there's
that.
many jobs like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is,
So you have to love what you're doing.
Well, the thing is, you believe in each other. The experience of life is sharing it with the people you're sharing your life with. And the food industry provides so much camaraderie in every place, in every city, in everywhere in the world. And whether we're aware of it or not, that the people are socially surrounded by the food culture. Because that's where we are all the same.
That's where we connect.
That's where
Yeah.
we can be rich and sit at this table, and you can be poor and sit at the next table, and the two people have no idea who they are. They've come to enjoy the bowl of soup that we make that's so outstanding, or the piece of meat, or the rice, whatever it is that they've come for.
Can I get a piece of meat?
It could be anything, the vegetables, the pie.
Yeah, yeah.
I love pie.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's another undervalue for us because it's kind of special to do what we do. And
I love it. It's
Yeah.
hard work.
It is. It's
kind
hard work.
I've worked so hard in the food industry. I like
But
who I am.
but
and
doesn't
what it
it?
is,
But don't you
and
feel
how
it?
provided and how it makes my day better?
Don't you think it
And of
developed
course,
you into
nobody
being?
wants to work, but if I have to work, I thoroughly enjoy it.
But don't you think it developed us to be kind people? Don't you think that kind of?
Oh,
there were-
absolutely.
Well, even if we had to
There's
fake it sometimes, we still end up
No,
being.
God says that it's good. You want to be a servant, and literally, you and I are serving.
Right.
We've learned to hone our love and accept and want to be better and love our brothers more, because every day we meet someone.
And we don't want
we
to.
share our
We
moment
want
with.
people to have a great time when they come in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we may never.
we
know
cherish that.
from yesterday, or today I'm interacting with you and I'm enjoying the conversation. Even though I'm in a service position, I'm happy to provide the moment. Or if I never see you tomorrow, we become best friends. In the food industry, we're providing a service of the experience more than just delivering a soda and a burger.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, and it's fun. I don't know. I
Again, you got to enjoy who you are, and you got to be able to enjoy the service to enjoy who you are in regards to what you're doing, because it just doesn't translate. And you're delivering a soda and a burger, but if you're not a people person, the experience has just been lowered, because
you can
you're
still
sharing that experience.
Yes, you're still in a moment away from somebody.
Yeah, so it teaches you to hone your love and respect.
Well,
for people.
that's what they call in the industry order takers. There's certain people who are order takers, and that's we.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to go to the table, get the order, make sure they get the food. Not a lot of idea on an experience for the guests. They're.
Yeah. So again, the food is a harmonious, beautiful celebration of eating, because if you don't eat, you die.
Yes.
And so
nobody wants to die.
We choose to eat out of, it's a blessing to have food, and who you share it with. It's not necessarily.
We keep you alive. Just remember that. So you won't die with us.
You'd rather to break bread with a friend than to eat meat with the enemy. So,
Yes.
yeah.
All right, very cool. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff. Also, there's a lot of wild things that happen in our industry. We get to see the wild things. I've seen. I got.
That means so much.
I got punched. By an old lady at the
Irate
previous.
guest.
Yeah,
A woman
yeah,
who felt. What did she feel?
She was.
We
one
know
of the,
what you felt.
She was one of the, I don't know how to say it nicely. She was one of the ladies from the street, and she was just mentally unstable. And she'd come up. She came up and she was just losing her mind on a table. Like, you're at my fucking table. You're at my fucking table. And I was just coming into work, coming up the stairs, and I saw her because she had been there before. And I was like, oh, my God, it's her. And then she saw me, and she immediately went over to table 32 and sat. So I went across and around to the rail, and I lowered myself all the way down. I was like, you know what's going to happen?
So now you're eye level, bent over, looking directly in her face.
And I was like, we're going to walk over to the door, and we're going to walk you downstairs. And right as soon as I finished saying that, the biggest left came, pow,
bam,
right in the jaw.
She hit you.
She got me. And I stood up immediately and was like, I did a little just spin. I was like, oh, no, something's about to go down. And she got up, and she immediately just booked it for the door. Meanwhile, a host calling the police, who always show up right on time.
Have you had a bad experience? If you've had a bad experience, that was never anyone's intention. And I know that it happens every day, everywhere, all the time. Why does it happen? I have no idea. It's the hardest thing to juggle and maintain. It's easy to make one film and people watch it for years and years and get the same wonderful experience. Every day in the restaurant industry, your world, you make the best of it, and people have this different vision of who you are and what it was. It was never intended so. So it's a hard industry to be well in, because people can put you down and think less of you as a human being, even though the job itself may be less of what you would choose to do. It's not demeaning that we love the food industry. It's just what we do.
Yeah.
And some of us love it because that's what we do.
And that's you hit on something so fantastic right there, because it's what we do, and and a lot of people don't get it. And I think when something does go wrong, we get upset with ourselves sometimes.
Absolutely. We own it. We take a
we
lot
do
of
own it.
responsibility as a representative that's promised you once I took your order that I'd be back in a moment
Right.
and do the best to present it. And then you're upset with me, and everything, the cook burnt it, they don't have it.
Yeah,
They're
and
10
you-
plates late.
and
never
they don't
received a
understand
check.
that we are we are
They
juggling.
gave my food to another table. There's so many circumstances that can
Yeah, and
go
you're
wrong.
juggling all
they
of
ran
that
out
for
by the time
them.
They got my check.
Right, you're juggling all that for them, and it's hard for to do. And
They don't know why you've run out of creme brulee because the chef didn't make it before.
right,
they
it,
left.
it
You
could
know,
be
it's beyond you. You got
multiple
to work,
reasons.
It was such.
Yeah. So, and even though we're on the
No
topic,
delivery.
we're on the topic of we love what we do. It's
Well, we love people and we love ourselves well enough to do what it is, but what occurs isn't necessarily so. And that's why I'm saying that the food industry gets a bad rap, because so many people in it just aren't good at it, or they just don't care.
do you
Unlike myself.
do you ever get anxiety because of what you do? 'Cause-
Never.
No, I know
I feel
because
it's
you
lucky
always
to be
come.
who I am.
You and I didn't used to. I didn't used to. It came out of nowhere.
It's
but
hard to do anything. It's hard to be real with who you are as a human being.
yeah, 24 hours a
then
day.
to do what you do and be well with what it is that you do.
Yeah, 24
Everybody thinks, am I doing right with who I am? And so I can't question that any longer. You know what? I do well, not that I'm wealthy. It's provide a living, so be it. God love my job, my life. I would always want to do more and better. But I'm representing the wellness that comes with, or with the acceptance of that comes with knowing that food has been good to me. And so I want people to know that people in the food industry are well with the interaction with each other. We know that we're bringing something more than just the food itself. I know that as a server, not a waiter, not an order taker, that I deliver and provide a medium, and in between, you've come out so that you can be well respected. You want to get your fulfillment, what it is you want to eat. I'm happy to do the best I can to provide it, but don't not understand that what's beyond or what's occurring is an action with who I am against you. That is easily said now here alone off screen, but as a human being with people at the table that are upset and wouldn't understand what I'm saying, well, I am sorry, but I'm not sorry that it's beyond me. I don't know what to tell you other than the truth that I have to endure it.
Tell them the truth.
Yeah, and you too. I just say it with hoping you have better understanding that we as the waiter aren't doing it deliberately.
I like how you turn it on, though.
Thank
You
you.
know, when when you come into work, you just have that, like, you come in, you're ready. You're one of the people who come in ready.
Well, I
You got your checklist. I could tell you got your checklist. You
I
check
prepare
guys.
for my
Because
my
the
shift.
better you're prepared, the
better it
easier
goes.
your shift
Yeah.
is.
You know,
And-
I take it like an understanding. If I was wrestling, I put on wrestling knee pads, or if I was playing football, I put on a uniform.
Wish you would.
Or if I was
I
ice
wish you
skating,
was wrestling.
you know, when I get to work, I make sure there's coffee, there's tea, there's
Yeah.
ice, there's cups.
'Cause
I
every
bring the
little-
spoons,
every
the
little
lids.
thing that you
Because when
don't
I get
have
busy,
ready,
I don't have time to look for things.
and when it turns into that you
That's
you,
part of. So I know I have to deal with the fact that I'm in motion. So I've come to work.
You hear me,
So
servers?
I need to be a help.
Yes, you hear
I
me, servers?
do things
Do your
that are-
side work. Don't leave your next shift fucked.
Yeah, you know, that's disrespectful to the person that's got to do it
Yeah,
for
it tells
you.
me you don't like
And
me.
it's not that I like you or don't like you. Like Rick said, it makes me feel that you care less.
Yes.
Not that you are.
And we are going to call you out by no.
Well, I
we're not.
communicate well enough to let the people know that this is the expectation and I would do it. And I respect you for who you are. Just do it.
Yes, and it's good
Not
to
that
have.
I'm mad at
It's
you,
integrity.
but if you were
It's
the other
integrity
route,
of
you
what
would
we-
force me to do
Yeah.
it, and that's what I know. I still have to do what I have to do. You're not gonna be able to do it.
It's just integrity. Just do the job. You're
Anyway, I
walking
love
away.
everybody in the food.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me?
I love everybody in the food.
Yeah.